probably the preeminent facility, at least historically. It's got to be huge for these girls.
This is a great facility, and there are a lot of amenities here that the schools get to take advantage of, and it makes for a very, very exciting meet, not only for the athletes but for all the fans as well. So I would tip my hat to Indiana to be able to have it in such a great facility.
I'll let you watch some diving now. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks so much.
All right, we're going to watch some diving now as that's underway here, Mark, at the IUPUI Natatorium.
Is what's shown on the board as round number 9. Her score was a little over 38. Next up, Amy Sharp from Noblesville High School. Her first dive of this championship round.
It's a back twister with one and a half twist. And Amy's a senior from Noblesville. She's doing a very nice job, nice position. Very nice rip. Nice entry in that. She kept her legs together all the way through. And was going to go sound scores here for Amy.
2.5 on the degree of difficulty for Mimi Sharp from Noblesville. We see high scores of 7.5 and a low score of 6. Now again, what they do is they throw a couple of those out, keep the middle 3. That gives her a total score for the round of just over 50. Wants her to the top of the leaderboard, but that's only momentarily. Next up, Courtney Coverdale from Plainfield High School.
She's doing the same exact dive as maybe going into there. Oh, very nice. Maybe just a little bit long at the end. A nice distance away from the board. She did a very nice job. Should be really similar to the scores right around that 50 point, which is an outstanding score for an optional dive.
2.5 on the degree of difficulty. Her low was 6.5. She's going to score well off of all those 7s and 7.5s. 52.50 for the round. She was in the top 10 coming in. She makes way for Chloe Jones from Fishers High School.
Chloe's going to be doing a reverse 1.5 in the pike position. Here she goes. I'm sorry, the tuck position. Just a little bit late on the kick out. That's why she had a little bit of a rollover on that. The other thing, if you notice on that approach, Mark, she's doing a little different. It's called a hop hurdle. And we can get into that later.
2.1 on the degree of difficulty. Low scores of 6.5. High scores of 7. She scores 43.05 for the round, giving her a total of 145.90. She makes way for Miriam Camus from Richmond High School.
Marion's a junior. She did quite well last year. She's doing dive 51.32. That's going to be a front 1.5 with 1 twist. Very nice. See how she reached up there. She got all the way on the extension. So maybe just a little bit short on the entry. Should score out well.
2.2 on the degree of difficulty for Miriam Camus from Richmond High School. Her low score 6.5. She got 4 7s for a total of 45.10. Total score for the round is a little over 141. Next up, Courtney Williams from Fishers High School.
Courtney's doing a great job this year. She's just a sophomore, and she's been giving Sarah Bacon a good run for her money. She's doing a back 2.5 in the pike, 1.5 in the pike position.
Came into this round in second place.
Just a little bit over. You see how that head was back just a little bit too far, and that caused her to go over-rotate on that.
2.3 on the degree of difficulty for the dive, waiting on the 7 judges' scores to pop up. A low of 4.5, a 5, 5.5, couple of 5.5s. For the round, 37.95, total score 156.60. Next up, Maddie Gordon from Center Grove High School.
Amy's doing another back. One summer. There you go. See how nice she was over the board on that? She kept that really nice and tight. 1.5 with 1 twist, half twist.
2.1 on the degree of difficulty for Maddie Gordon's dive. Again from Center Grove High School, a low score of 6. A high score of 8. Judge number 3 liked that dive. In total for the round, 39.90, giving her a total score of 149.35. Lexi Benson is up next, and she is from Oak Hill.
That is her voluntary dive, but she's going to get that out of the way. She's Oak Hill. Lexi did a nice dive, reverse dive pike.
Lexi Vincent, reverse dive pike. Again, she's from Oak Hill. 37.40. Total for the round, 135.45.
Here's Sarah Bacon, the defending state title. She's going to be doing a 51.32, 1.5 somersaults with a 1 full twist forward. Sarah is just Her goal is Rio 2016, and she looks like to go to the University of Minnesota. Really nice extension. You see how, beautiful dive. You can't do that dive much better. That was a beautiful dive by Sarah.
2.2 on the degree of difficulty. Waiting on the judges' scores now for Sarah Bacon. Judges liked it as well. A low of 7.5, and she got a couple of 9s. She's at 194.80 now. Sarah Bacon. Laura Rokop is next.
Laura is a senior from Carmel. She finished 11th last year in the state meet. She's doing a dive, 2 somersaults. Tuck. Really nice job. Came around smooth, confident, kicked it out really nice and strong.
2.2 on the degree of difficulty. Low score of 6. 6.5 and a couple of 7s. Laura Rokop from Carmel High School. Next up, Abigail Prince.
Abigail's from Lake Central. She's doing an inward dive. This is her first year at the state meet, so she's doing an outstanding job handling the pressure of all 11 dives. So look at that. Beautiful pike. Nice entry. Very, very clean. The only thing I saw of that is she didn't point her toes quite enough, but that's a great dive right there.
1.5 on the degree of difficulty. A low score of 6. She did pick up 2 8s, 6.5, 6.5, and 7. Off the 1.5 degree of difficulty for Abigail Prince from Lake Central. Next up, from Evansville, Sarah Hayhurst. Evansville Rights.
Sarah's doing a front 1.5 in the pike position. Just a little bit too far out from the board, and maybe just not the clean entry that we're looking for.
1.7 on the degree of difficulty in the pocket city of Evansville, Sarah Hayhurst. Scores of 6.5 dominating that time, a low of 5.5 and a high of 7.5 for Sarah Hayhurst. Blair Wills is next from Homestead High School.
Blair's doing an inward dive also in the pike position. Blair's just a sophomore, and this is her first time down here, so she's doing a really nice job. Very, very nice dive. See how, Mark, she collapsed that pike and got really nice and tight and opened it up so the judges can see that whole body in the straight line. She did a nice job.
1.5 is the degree of difficulty. Low score of 7. She received 3 8s and 3 7.5s. Score for the round, 34.50. Maggie Gates from Bloomington South is next.
Maggie's doing a back dive pike. This is her volunteer dive for the last 3 dives. So the next 2 dives are going to be a little bit tougher. You always want to try to be in that 34 to 36 range on your voluntary dives. Again, just a little bit short on that entry. Had the chin down just a little bit too long. Didn't keep that head in the neutral position. Really nice top. We'll see how the judges score it from the entry, though. 1.6
off the degree of difficulty for Maggie Gates from Bloomington South High School. A low score of 4.5 and high scores of 7. Giving her a total for the round of 30.40. Morgan Mexner is next from Lawrence North High School.
Morgan has been doing a 52.31 front 1.5 and 1 twist.
She's a junior from Lawrence North.
I'm sorry, back 1.5 and 1 twist. Oh, very nice, very nice. Very nice form all the way through. She kept that entry in the clean.
2.1 on the degree of difficulty, as we said. Waiting on the 7 judges' scores now. We'll get her total for the round. She scored well there. 48.30.
Very nice score.
So let's take a look at the scoreboard now. After 1 round, Sarah Bacon, your leader at 194.80. Eva Sharp is second, then Courtney Coverdale, Morgan Mexner, Courtney William, Maggie Gordon, Samantha Reese, and Chloe Jones.
Brooke Madden right now doing a front 2.5 pike. Very pretty dive. See how well she kept that pike close, opened it up, came through nice. Should be a very good score.
Brooke Madden is a sophomore from Centerville High School. Off to the 2.6 degree of difficulty, low score of 6, high score of 7.5, giving her 53.30 for the round. Next up, Samantha Reeves from South Bend St. Joe's.
This is the start of the 10th round. She's going to be doing a reverse twister. This is a very pretty dive. Gets off the board here. Come in with that hop hurdle. Ooh, hanging 10 a little bit. You see, still got through that. Hanging 10 means that her toes were off the end of the board. She pulled that thing back around nice, though. That's a tough dive for her with her toes hanging over.
2.2 off the degree of difficulty. A round 10 score, 37.40. Received a couple in the 6 range and a 6.5, a low score of 5.0. Amy Sharp from Noblesville with her second dive now.
Mamie's doing an inward 1.5 pike. This is one of her better dives. I've seen her do this many times, and she's always gets really nice, clean entries. You want to get that dive to generate the power up right there, come through, and enter. Very nice again. Just a little bit long, though, for her. Let's see what the judges have to say about that little problem at the end of that dive.
Amy Sharp from Noblesville off a dive that had a 2.4 degree of difficulty. Scored well there, 7.5 the low, 9 in the high, a couple of 8s and 8.5. 55-20, a good scoring round for her. Courtney Coverdale from Plainfield is next.
She's doing her 401, which is an inward pike dive. This is her volunteer dive for this round. Very nice. See, that style was just a little bit different, Mark. She actually kept her hand out for an open rather than bringing them all the way down. It's just a diver's preference on that, but she had a really clean dive, nice entry.
1.5 on the degree of difficulty for Courtney Coverdale. She scores well there, racks up with 7 5s, and got a 9 and a couple of 8 5s, giving her a 35-25 for the round. Chloe Jones from Fishers is next.
Chloe's doing a front double, and this is going to be should be a feet first entry, so she has to make sure that she gets open all the way through. Nice extension, come through, and there you go. It's just the problem with those feet first entries is your splash that you make, and so much is on the appearance of the dive, so they're sometimes harder to get the scores that you like to see. Very well executed dive, though.
2.3 on the degree of difficulty. Her low score, 2 6s. She received 6 5s and 7 5. Total for the round, 44.95. Marion Camus is next from Richmond High School.
Marion's doing a front 2.5, and this is going to be in the tuck position. So she has to get some nice height. See how she's generating it with that hurdle hop coming through. Very nice. Comes in there. The feet got separated right at the end, and maybe just a little distance off that board.
The degree of difficulty on this dive was 2.4 for the Richmond Red Devil. Judges scores in the 4.5 to 6 range. Total for the round, 32.40.
That's tough for her, Mark. She needed that to throw her a little bit higher. They really hurt her for those feet.
Courtney Williams from Fishers High School.
She's doing it 51-32. This is a front 1.5 with 1 full twist coming through. Very nice dive again for Courtney. Let the feet go just a little bit at the end, though. Should score pretty well, though.
2.2 on the degree of difficulty for Courtney Williams. Scores ranging from a low of 6 to a high of 7 for the round, and 41.80 for Courtney Williams. Maddie Gordon from Center Grove is next.
Maddie's doing a 105 tuck. That's 2.5 somersaults in the tuck position. She's coming through. See that extension coming through? There you go. Very nice entry. Could have kept the legs just a little tighter at the end, pointed those toes just a little bit better.
Degree of difficulty up a little bit on this dive at 2.4 for Maddie Gordon from Center Grove, and scores nicely in that round from a low of 6 to a high of 7.5, 46.80 for the round. Next up, Lexi Vincent from Ocala.
Lexi's doing her front 2.5. She had to sit out last year due to an injury. Here she comes. You guys get that power in there? Very nice. Lexi has that advantage of not being real tall, and so that helps her get around quicker on her dives.
Again, the degree of difficulty up a little bit in this round for Lexi Vincent at 2.4. To multiply that for judges' scores ranging from 5.5 to 6.5, and she scores 42 even for the round. It makes way for your leader, Sarah Bacon from Cardinal Ritter High School.
She's doing a 51-34. It's a front 1.5 twist with 2 twists. This is a tough dive. Let's see how she takes off from that board. Make sure she's getting a full extension. She gets the hop going, gets the board moving. Look at that. Nice press. Dives like a champion so far. Dives are great. She's going to come through that dive really well with scores. She should be in like a 54-point range on that, maybe even a little higher.
2.6 on the degree of difficulty for Cardinal Ritter's Sarah Bacon.
61.
Look at that. From 6s all the way up to 8s. Judge number 4 didn't like the dive for some reason. Dan, but she scored a 61-1.
That's been the dive of the meet so far. That's the highest point total on one dive from anybody.
Laura Rokoff is up next. She's from Carmel High School. 2.4 on the
She's
degree
doing
of
her.
difficulty.
She's doing her front 2.5 there. Nice dive. Nice in the tuck position. She handled that very well. Nice and clean. And she'll score well.
Again, 2.4 on the degree of difficulty. She did score well there. From a low of 6 to a high of 7. 46.80 for the round.
Yeah, right around that 50-point mark is where you want to be.
Abigail Prince, the senior from Lake Central, is next.
Abigail's doing a 105 at Laud 2.5. This one again is in the tuck position. See, she did not get that extension off that board, so her rotation was slow going around, and she had not the cleanest entry. That's going to be a tough score on that.
Waiting on her second round score now. Off the 2.4 degree of difficulty, a low of 3.5 and a high of 4.5, scoring 31-20 for the round. Next up, Sarah Hayhurst.
She is doing a front 2 somersault in the pike position, another feet first entry, so let's see how clean she can get through there. Get that extension on the board, very nice. Look at that nice, oh, very nice job. Very pretty pike entry.
The senior from Wrights High School in Evansville, a 2.3 on the degree of difficulty for Sarah Hayhurst. Her scores ranging from a low of 6.5 to a high of 8.5. She scores 50.60 for the round. Blair Wills is next from Homestead High School.
Blair's going to do a back 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. The key to this is not leaning back on the start, keeping that body up straight and tall and getting all the way through with her arms first. Up first and comes out. Just a little bit short. She started leaning back just a little bit too early on that dive, and that's what made it short on the entry.
2.3 on the degree of difficulty from Blair Wills from Homestead. Low of 4 to a high of 5.5. Her score for the round at 33.35. Maggie Gates from Bloomington South is up next, the sophomore.
She's doing a reverse 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. The key here again is you can't let those hips get out in front of you first. She has to get a good extension, come through it. There you go. Look at that. Oh, just a little bit over because she held on just a little bit too long. Great distance from the board, though. The judges might give her the benefit on that.
Maggie Gates from Bloomington South High School, 2.1 the degree of difficulty. The judges' scores posting a low of 4.5 to a high of 6.5 for the round at 35.70 from Maggie Gates from Bloomington South. Morgan Mexner is up next from Lawrence North.
Morgan's going to be doing a 51.32. That's a front 1.5 with 1 full twist in there. Morgan's got to get this thing up and through. Comes through, keeps her balance nice, comes around. See how she saved that dive at the bottom of it too? Pulls that splash down when they do that pike at the end of it under the water. It really helps there. I think that's going to be a nice score there.
2.2 on the degree of difficulty. Scoring well that round. Lows of 7.5 to a high of 9, 51.70 for the round. Brooke Madden up next.
This is a back 1 somersault with 1.5 twists. This is a tough dive to stop, so she's going to really have to come out and exit out of the dive. Stop it with her arms. Comes up, comes through, out, and there you go. Nice job.
Sophomore from Centerville. 2.3 on the degree of difficulty for that dive.
This was her first state high school title going after.
A low of 4.5 and a high of 6 for the round at 39.10 for Brooke Madden from Centerville. Going into the final round now, we see Sarah Bacon atop the leaderboard at 255.90. Then Mimi Sharp, Brooke Madden, Mexner, Coverdale, William, Gordon, and Hayhurst.
Sam is doing a inward 1.5 in the pike position. You've got to stay tight to the board like that, just like that. That's textbook diving right there. Very nice job, Sam.
Samantha Reese from South Bend St. Joe's, the senior. 2.4 on the degree of difficulty.
Nice job ending her senior career with that score.
6.5 to a high of 8.5, 51.60 for the round. Mimi Sharp is up next for Bubblesville.
This is also Mimi's last high school senior dive for her. She's doing an inward 2 somersaults in a tuck position. Again, you got to take it up. On a feet first entry, you got to be really clean on the entry. You got to kick out strong right there. Nice job, Mimi. Very nice dive. A little bit over, just tad over, though. It should score well with a 2.8.
2.8 on the degree of difficulty. Ranges from a low of 6 to a high of 7. 53.20 for the round and for Mimi Sharp. Courtney Coverdale from Plainfield. You get a good look at her there, representing the Quakers here today.
She's doing the same dive as Mimi just did. It's a inward double somersault in a tuck position. Stays over the board, kicks out there. Just a little bit long, and that's why you see that splash. The feet are behind her on the entry.
2.8 on the degree of difficulty. Waiting on the judges' scores now. A low of 4.5 to a high of 6, giving her 46.20 for the round as she came in this final round in the top 10. Next up, Chloe Jones from Fishers.
She's another senior for us. She, like I said, is going to be going to Marshall University and dive for them. And she's doing 51.32, 1.5 somersaults with 1 full twist. And there you go. Nice entry, nice execution on that. Very nice job for her last dive in high school.
2.2 on the degree of difficulty for Chloe Jones from Fishers High School. Scores from a low of 6 to a high of 7.5. Very nice 42.90 for the round. Mary Thomas from Richmond is next.
And she's going to be doing a reverse 2 somersaults in the tuck position. You really got to take this up, extend. There it is. See how that? Yep, nice job. She had that extension on the start of it, and that put her in the position to kick out of that dive really well at the end with a good entry.
2.3 on the degree of difficulty for Miriam. And from Richmond High School, over the Red Devils, a low of 6, a high of 7.5. 46 flat for the round. Makes way for Courtney Williams, also from Fishers High School.
Courtney's doing an inward 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. I've seen her do this lots of times. Look at that. Look at that position. Nice job. Stayed over the board. Nice tight core muscles there. You get a good entry on it.
And 2.4 on the degree of difficulty for Courtney Williams from Fishers. A low of 5.5. Judge number 3 scored her an 8. 49.20 for the round for Courtney Williams from Fishers. Next up, center goes Maddie Gordon.
She's also doing the 403. That's an inward 1.5 in the pike position. A lot of girls like to end on this dive because it's very solid for them, and it's a nice feet first entry. So you'll see it there. Look at how she stayed over the board. Came a little bit over to the right on that. She pushed it over just a little bit to the right, and not the cleanest entry, but a very nice entry.
And Maddie Gordon from Center Grove, 2.4 on the degree of difficulty. Judges' scores range from a low of 6 to a high of 7. Round 46.80 for Maddie Gordon. Next up, Lexi Vincent from Oak Hill.
Lexi's doing a front 2 somersaults in the pike position. Comes through. Nice entry. Nice job. She held that pike, didn't break it at all. A little bit better on the height would have been great, but well executed dive.
2.3 on the degree of difficulty. You can glance there at the 7 judges who are scoring this round. Hall of Famer or 2 seated. They're putting those numbers up for the round at 46 even. Low of 6 and a high of 7. Next up, be your state champion. Thanks, Sarah Bacon from Cardinal Ritter.
Unless disaster happens on this, but this is a 403 pike. She'll nail this dive. Watch her how high she gets right there, right on the nice extension out, opens it up. Congratulations, Sarah, on a state title there.
And she's just a junior, folks. 2.4 off the degree of difficulty for Sarah Bacon. Scores ranging from a low of 7 to a high of 9 at 56.4 for that round, which is a rarity. And she puts a stranglehold on this second consecutive state championship and makes way for Laura Rokop now from Carmel.
Laura's doing a 52.31, which is a back 1.5 with a half twist. The key here is, again, taking it up. You got to get those arms to come up right through the extension right there before you start to lean back. All right, very nice. Could have been a little bit cleaner. She just didn't have the height to line it up prior to the entry.
For final dive of the state championship, Carmel High School ranges from 4.5 to a 5.5, 34.5 for the round. Next up, Abigail Prince from Lake Central.
Abigail's last dive as a senior, also doing a 51.32, which is a front 1.5 with a full twist. Leaning a little bit too forward there, and that's what happens there. The leaning forward is going to take you out further, and you can't get the height off that dive.
The degree of difficulty was 2.2 for the dive by Abigail Prince of Lake Central. Judges' scores range from a low of 4 to a high of 5. 29.70 for the round for Abigail Prince of Lake Central. Evansville Lights. Sarah Hayhurst is next.
She's doing a reverse 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. Again, keep those hips in. Coming up, extend. A little bit whippy on that at the beginning, but she really summed it up nice at the top and came down strong with a good entry. That should score out well.
2.4 on the degree of difficulty for Sarah Hayhurst from Evansville Rights. A low of 5 to a high of 6.5. 43.20 for the round. Next up, Blair Wills from Homestead High School.
Blair's doing a 52.25. This is going to be a tough dive. This is a back 1 somersault with 2.5 twist.
Just a sophomore.
And she gets it in. Nice job, Blair. Looks good. Need just a little bit more height. That's a tough dive, though. Those are tough scores.
2.7 on the degree of difficulty. Judges' scores will range for Blair Wills from Homestead High School from a low of 4 to a high of 5.5. Giving her a pretty nice score for a difficult dive, 41.85. Again, she's just a sophomore from Homestead. Maggie Gates from Bloomington South is next.
She's doing a front double somersault in the pike position. Again, feet first entry. She has to get through the dive. Her hands were just a little bit short, but she still got through nice, held the pike position. That's some of the things that judges are looking for if they have a break in the pike, and that will really be a point deduction.
2.3 on the degree of difficulty for Maggie Gates' dive. A low score of 5 to a high of 6.5. Eliminate upper and lower scores, 41 points for the round. Morgan Mexner is next from Lawrence North.
Morgan's doing a front 2.5 pike. Again, tough dive. She's got to squeeze it really tight when she takes off, gets into that pike position so that she keeps the rotation going fast. Let's see what type of takeoff she has on it. Nice extension there. A little bit back on the board. Ooh. A little bit. The feet didn't come around quite as fast as what we wanted.
2.6 on the degree of difficulty. Score for the round. A low of 3.5, a low of 2 we should say. A high of 6.5, 32.50 for the round. Brooke Madden from Centerville is next.
Doing a back 1.5 with 1.5 twist. This would be the last diver of the competition today, Mark.
2.5 on the degree of difficulty.
A nice entry. Nice job coming across that, getting the hand through after the twist. Just a little bit short, maybe he's a little bit far away from the board.
Right. Centerville's Brooke Madden. A low of 4.5 to a high of 6, hitting a 40 for the round. Brooke Madden, there are your final results. Sarah Bacon wins the state championship for the second consecutive year. That's 12.30. Sharp, Brooke Madden, Courtney Williams, Morgan Mexner, Courtney Coverdale, Maddie Gordon.